Hi, this is Rob Bartenstein, founder, president of Kester Private Wealth Services. And as always, I'm joined by my partner and co-founder, Scott Wilson. Scott.
Hey guys, great to be here.
Today we are in Southern Florida, Melbourne specifically, and we are joined, we're visiting Brendan McCarthy and Brian Laughlin from Three Bridges Planning. Guys, thanks for the hospitality. Thanks for letting us drop in.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. Always nice when you guys come in town.
This is always interesting, these trips, right? Something interesting is always happening. And this time there is a expected rocket launch in about 10 minutes. So if we all run out of here
with the cameras too.
We're just going to go watch the rocket, then we'll be right back. So, but guys, seriously, thanks for having us. It's been great working with you all over the last 5 years and 6 years.
Yeah, pushing 7 actually.
Yeah,
and
so we're happy to be here and connect with you this way. So let's just start off by talking about the team. Whoever wants to, just give us a description of the who and the where, and because you guys have built a really impressive business.
Yeah. So we're our firm is Three Bridges Planning, and as you guys know, we joined you in 2019. We were with the wirehouses and kind of was looking for independence and talked to a few different firms and met with both Scott and you, Rob, and it's been a great partnership ever since. We have currently we have 7 people with Three Bridges Planning. Our office here is myself, Brian, his father Dennis. Andres Yepes just joined us recently.
Yeah.
He's a nice young kid from, he's from here, but he had his own practice and he joined us. And then over on the West Coast, it's nice. Zach Butler has his firm. It's with Three Bridges Planning, but he runs an office over on the West Coast of Florida.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to kind of cross Florida, if you will. And our staff is fantastic. We've got Samantha, who's been with us for many years. And my mom, Judy's our receptionist. So that's
Good to see Judy coming in.
Yeah, she was happy to see you guys come in today too.
Right. Well, you mentioned you began to mention the due diligence process. Take us back to that. Just for the folks that are listening, remind them what your process was like, what you learned in the process, kind of how you went through it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. We came in open-minded, like we're going to look at everybody. And, somewhere along the line, we hired a recruiter to help us figure it all out. She has a little bit of education on the formats of all the different firms.
Yeah.
As a wirehouse, you don't really understand all the different ways this could happen. I think we had it down to 5 that we seriously talked to and engaged, and pretty quickly narrowed it down to 2. And,
do we ever tell these guys who the other one was?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, the other one was Finet.
Okay.
And they for what we were experiencing at the time, they had something to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately, just the last 2 had many conversations, many, really a big due diligence drill down, and ultimately ended up with Kestra, Kestra Private Wealth. Very, very good choice on our part. I couldn't imagine us choosing Finet or one of the other ones at this point in time, because it's worked out.
I remember Brian working us pretty hard. He's a numbers guy, and he made us earn it. So
Brian worked the numbers, but I was all along. I said, like, these are the guys, and I'll tell you, for anybody that's looking at independence, I mean, we felt like every firm that we talked to, they brought in their regional sales guy to sell us on that, on their company, and I can assure you that whoever we talked to, those people probably aren't with that company. And we're right. When we talked with you guys, it was just real guys having conversations about our business and our future. So we said, hey, these guys are going to be here with us for a while. And here we are 7 years later. And, that was.
I think part of it too is in that process. I remember Brent and I having a conversation somewhat to the extent of, are these guys for real? Because if what they say is true, this is a good deal for us.
Yeah.
And, coming from the wirehouse, sometimes you hear things that don't actually come to fruition. So we're used to things not coming true.
Yeah.
And then here we are, and everything you've ever said did happen the way you said it would. So that's why it works.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, that's great.
Scott and I love your name. Three Bridges Planning is such a cool name. I know the story. We know the story. Why don't you share, how you guys came up with that?
Basically, we started the name. We kind of went back and forth with a few different things, and this location here in Melbourne, as you guys know, you stayed over on the beach last night, and the intercoastal separates Melbourne from the beaches, and there's 3 major bridges that cross from mainland over to the beach side. So Three Bridges Planning kind of made sense for us. At the time, there was the 3 of us that formed Three Bridges Planning, which was myself, Brian, and his father, Dennis.
Yeah.
So there was 3 of us, And we really looked at our practice and what we wanted to do and what we felt we could offer, what we really offered our clients. And it really came down to three things. It was tax planning, financial planning, and investment management. So those are kind of our three pillars, if you will. And
You guys really have a solid process. I mean,
Real.
over the years, I see what you've built, and it's something you couldn't get at the wirehouse. So maybe talk a little bit how your processes, blend into the name and how it all works together.
Yeah, I certainly can't do the stuff in wirehouses for a number of reasons. One is we do things that others don't do, not because we're super special, but because we have the capacity. We have the ability to move and do what we want.
Right.
We're not stuck in a box. We're not producing quarterly performance monitors as the main form of delivering value.
Right.
So once that box opened up and we stepped outside of it, there's so many directions that you can go in, and we started going in other directions.
And we knew it was out there, but I don't
Yeah.
think we had any idea the amount of the ability we had to kind of expand our services by getting outside of that box.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I think is really interesting. And we asked the guys in Eagle Harbor in Boca the same question. I mean, Florida, as we all know, densely populated with financial advisors, also densely populated with a lot of opportunity for financial advisors. But in our estimation, it's a somewhat difficult market to stand out in, right? Or to differentiate yourself. And I think you guys, with the process that you have that Scott just mentioned, and I think you've really done that, and it's been super effective. Why don't you share a little bit of detail about what you were just talking about there?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's really, it doesn't sound super special, but like I just mentioned, if a quarterly monitor is your delivery method of value, then you are not special.
Right.
So what we really do is we just get deep with our clients. And for each client, it might be a little something different. And, if your thing is, I really want my kids to be well off and not have to be overloaded with a burden of paperwork and taxes and things when they receive my assets when I pass away, that's what we talk about. And if your thing is, I hate Medicare, premium surcharges, well, that's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to do something today so you don't have to deal with that next year and the year after. So it's a little different for everybody, but we just go deep on what's important with them. That's our model. And it's really hard to deliver in a wirehouse, but it's, here
And
we
we use
do
the
it.
tools. I mean, what we've seen from you guys is you've adapted. Like when these things come out with the AI that's available for Medicaid, Medicare, if it's tax planning, if it's analyzing tax returns or life insurance policies, you guys dive in.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is constantly changing, right? And new software products are available. And again, not to keep picking on the wirehouse, but they don't have the ability to use that. They can't use that, right? But there's software out now that can analyze people that are going on Medicare, and where are the costs, where are the doctors, what are the copays, all that. We analyze that for them. It's an incredible tool that we use for our clients. Holistic Plan is a tax planning software. So all of our clients, we review their 1040s. And like Brian said, we're going to find stuff in that 1040 that you can't, if you're not looking at somebody's 1040, you're not doing financial planning, right? I can't tell you how many times we've uncovered somebody that was with somebody else. We looked at their 1040. We found out they were giving donations that they weren't getting deductions on, and all they had to do was give it out of their IRA for a qualified charitable distribution.
Yeah.
And we've switched that for them, and it's changed their tax situation because nobody's looked at their 1040 before.
Yeah.
Typically, the CPAs are doing their tax return, right?
Mhm.
But they're not analyzing it and saying
They're not investment guys.
No, they're not doing that. So the investments is big. I mean, investments is a big part of what we do, but just as is tax planning and financial planning.
I think it's great. It really shows up, and we can see it from a great distance. It's definitely a big differentiator. So we sort of touched on this, but one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, how have those client relationships evolved and changed since you left the wirehouse? And if you want to weave in a little more here, like as business owners, how have you guys changed in the last 7 years?
I think with all that you address business owners, I think with our clients is that I think any time that you get deeper involved with your clients on a real financial planning level, it only helps. Prior to joining Kestra, our relationship with our clients was mostly on the investment management side, and that could be a fleeting relationship depending on a variety of factors. But when you really get to know your clients deeply, right, all their financial situations, I just think it's hard to quantify that, but our clients typically stay with us. We don't lose clients. They refer their friends and their family because we do everything, for them. And that relationship you can't do if you're just managing their assets.
I mean, last night, somebody at the dinner table, you had mentioned, thought highly of you because you helped, I think.
She had said, "Hey, you guys do business with my friend who was going through kind of a rough time," and I said, "Absolutely, great person." We had a great conversation.
I loved hearing that. I mean, that's exactly what it's all about.
Yeah.
And business owners. I know you guys, go after. There's a good number of small business owners in this community and market, so I know that's a big part of the business as well.
Yeah, well, business owners have money, so
Yeah.
that makes them, that they have money, which means they have issues,
Sure.
which means we have potential solutions.
And you guys are
Clients.
business owners now, so you're like on the same side of the table with them. Probably can relate to a lot of those issues better than you could before.
Yeah, I mean, and again, at the wirehouse, you kind of clock in and you don't worry about a lot of the details.
Right.
That's, to one extent, that's their value proposition.
Right.
On our end, before we do something, we think about the future.
Yeah.
Does this cost or time work what we're going to do?
And there's a sense of pride. I mean, as you guys know, like when you own your own business, that's just a sense of pride. It's when prior to having your own firm, I think everybody looks at this retirement date, right? If you don't own the business with us, we don't even, that date doesn't even pop into our minds. 'Cause
Right.
You love what you do. We incorporate our families and our friends in the business, and it's just a way of life. You just can't get that anywhere else without owning.
You've got the full spectrum. I mean, you've got your father, Dennis. He can exit on his terms, and he's amazing. And you've got Andres, who's 39, and CFP. I love seeing the full gamut, and spectrum of
And the multiple offices and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to expand too. We're always looking at other advisors that would like to join the Kester Private Wealth family and perhaps join Three Bridges Planning. And our eyes are always open for that as well.
I think you guys have such a well-defined value proposition. It's a great track for any advisor who's looking over the fence and thinking like, maybe I would want to go independent, but where do I even start?
Yeah, it's daunting to think about. I mean, we talk about our due diligence process, and interviewed and did all that, but it was still a very nerve-wracking decision to make the move, and especially when you start your own firm, which is what we did with your help, of course. We started the firm, but now we have the ability for people to join Kester Private Wealth and join Three Bridges Planning because the infrastructure is in place. Brian and I have 7 years and things are going pretty well, but we've made mistakes.
Yeah, I would even say the first couple of years, it didn't look like it does today. It took us a couple of years to build it, make a couple mistakes, and now.
We can relate.
Yeah, if someone
It took us a
joins
couple
us,
years to build it. We made a couple mistakes.
they can plug and play into our system without going through that couple year, turbulence that we.
I think that's really compelling. All right, so Brendan, you just started to talk about this, but let's talk about what's over the horizon for you guys. Where are you taking this thing?
Well, I think we talk about that all the time, and I don't. The good thing is we don't really know, and it's except for that we want to be here, right? Like, we having your own business and working, for a broker dealer like Kester gives us the confidence that we can take this as far as we want it to go, right? Like, we're not worried about what's going to happen next year. We're not worried about, hey, is there a better firm out there? Should we make a change? Should we join somebody else? Or are we going to be acquired? All that kind of stuff that you worry about in your whole career is gone when you own the business and you work, under Kester Private Wealth. So, our thought is him and I are relatively young. We're in our early 50s, and we have no plans to go anywhere. In fact, like I mentioned with Zach over on the West Coast and bringing on Andres, if we could add another advisor a year maybe over the next 3 to 5 years, and then take that into 10 years, 15 years. Now we're in our 60s. So just the future is endless for us, but the confidence that we own the firm and that we're under Kester is like, makes it just so.
It was fun last night talking about Blue Spring and just the potential. For those who don't know, Blue Spring's our M&A division. We buy firms like Three Bridges, and listening to Brian and you talk about the value that you're building and how proud you are of the entity that you have alternatives downstream. That's just something that also is super exciting.
It's actually exciting on our end. I mean, when you track your metrics and know, you can see the decisions that we were talking about that we have made in the past, we can see the good work, and it's literally building a business. That business will ultimately be monetized asset for Brendan and I will ultimately be a retirement plan for us, which again wouldn't exist in a W-2 world.
Right.
And kudos to Kester for buying firms like Blue Spring, right? That's so you guys have, Kester has built this umbrella, right? Where you guys have pretty much anything we need.
It's like a full life cycle ecosystem.
It really is, because we can always go outside of Kester do that, but why? And we trust the people in the firm, from you guys up to the top, is always seems to have done the right thing and made the right moves.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, look, you're 7 years in, as you mentioned. Last sort of serious question. So, what advice do you have for the folks that may be coming behind you? They're still sort of over there on the other side thinking about it.
I would say, and this is just on our experience, most people have been thinking about moving for a while. It's not an all of a sudden I got to move thing. And I would say that if you think that, you should investigate it. But whatever it is the reason why you're not doing it, you should really consider that. You should really investigate it to make that decision. Because the longer you wait, the longer it takes to get to that happy place.
Yeah.
So, we were thinking about it for years, and there's always reasons not to do it. Probably fear is probably one of the biggest ones, fear of the unknown. But man, and I know on this podcast and everyone else will say the same thing. So wish I would have done it earlier, right?
Yeah.
But that is the advice. Like
Yeah.
when you start thinking about it, start investigating it. Because if we would have done it 2 years earlier, we'd be in a better position right now.
And you got help.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the beauty is there are a lot of people out there that we work with that can really help you sort through the choices and narrow it down. And you guys are smart to do that.
We definitely called other brokers who made the move to independence. A couple within Kestra's ecosystem, a couple outside. Talk to them how their thing went. It's
I think the decision, the decision to leave and join independence is not a decision; it's a necessity.
Yeah.
I mean, the industry, you have to, you've got to get out of that box. You're not doing financial planning. You've got to leave. The question is, where do you go, right? And we talked earlier about some of the firms that we had talked to prior to joining Kester. I think a big difference in the independent world that people don't realize is some of your competitors aren't truly independent, right? They're independent because they're paying for their own desk, but they're under the same structure, they're under the same software, they're under the same regulations as the larger firm.
well, that's a big reason why we did not choose finance.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're a Wells Fargo advisor. You just happen to be paying for your own
Different things.
desk, and you get paid higher, you pay desk, but you're under the same stuff. You're limited to what you can do. True independence is what Kester is, and what Kester Private Wealth is. So again, the decision to leave should have already been made. Just look at the stats and the numbers. It's the question is, where do you go? And I think that's the investigative part these people need to do.
I mean, we dance a fine line, right? I mean, too many choices can be not a good thing as well. We've learned over the years, and we try to, give you choice, but also give you a backbone of a platform that works, right? And as you mature in the business, you can sort of, go in another direction for a piece of that business. Like you said, Brian, if you want to, if the financial planning tool isn't what you want, we just added a third partner last year that we integrated, right? So you've got 3 integrated partners, not just one.
Well, that's a good point. When I say there's all these options, but you guys did a great job of guiding us to where because of experiences, right? You guys know what is the better financial planning platforms and whatnot. So we take your advice, but knowing we have the opportunity to look at other stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys have done a great job of both.
Yeah.
Frankly, I mean, you really integrated stuff that you've integrated things that we haven't integrated, but that are available for your use, and we're good with that, and that works out really well.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that's great is that if there is a new software or something that helps with financial planning, and Kester isn't currently it's not approved, we have brought things to Kester before. They've done their due diligence, they've done their work behind it, and they've approved it for us. So they're just open to doing better things, that we can offer to our clients.
And it doesn't take a year,
No.
or 10 to get an answer on that stuff.
Not at all.
Right? It's pretty quick.
Or you're not feeding us a line like, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
It never comes.
Yeah, exactly. No, we probably left all that behind. All right, they're going to give us the hook here in a minute, but I got a few for you here. Do you guys, either of you, both of you, have a role model that you think of in this business, or a mentor?
I mean, it's pretty obvious for both of us because his father still works with us. So he's got to say his dad.
You were gonna go
He's
there.
got to say his dad because
His dad.
Yeah.
because he might actually watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, but it would be my dad. He was. You guys didn't meet my dad. He was in the business. You may have met him. He passed away 3 years ago. He retired before we joined Kester. So I think you may have met him in our open house or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I would say both. Not to speak for you.
Yeah, without a
Clearly,
doubt.
both are
Without a
fathers.
doubt.
Great answers. Any lessons or teachings that you find are at the center of what you do and how you do it?
I mean, I'm going to go with an easy answer here, and that is, if you just do right by your clients, and for that matter, right by people,
Yeah.
good things happen.
That's 100%.
It's really, you just do good stuff, and it comes back to you.
Well, it's how we've run the business from day one. I mean, it's pretty simple.
We even joke that we're long-term greedy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we might be greedy, but we're long-term greedy. And you guys are the straw that stirs the drink, the advisor, and it's all about you. We serve you. You're our client. And as long as we keep that as our focus, we know that over time good things are going to happen for
And we won't hold it against you that you both love Florida State. So
everybody.
We had a good time at that game last year.
we did have a good time. And that's just another thing. We do a lot of stuff together personally, and we're friends, and it's deeper relation than just business. Certainly that's important, but I think that's what we've built this thing around. All 80 offices we feel like are good friends and family, and we're not going to change that at all. So.
Well, I certainly didn't go to any games with the executives at UBS.
Well, there wasn't room in the helicopter for you, unfortunately. Okay, last one. If Three Bridges had a theme song, what would it be?
Man,
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
hold pause on that one. I forgot you asked that question
want a phone
because I got to think about that, and it's got to be something by Metallica or Luke Combs. I can't think of
Well,
one.
if that's the case, we have to go with Metallica. So
Yeah.
Those are my two.
if we're
Enter Sandman or Ride the Lightning?
Oh man, let's go. Enter Sandman. Oh, Seminole win,
Hey.
John Anderson.
hey, if we can use it as walk-up music,
Yeah.
then Enter Sandman.
Enter
There you
Sandman.
go.
All right. Well done. Well done. Well, on Enter Sandman, we're going to exit. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Kester on the Fly. Been great being with you guys. Thanks for sharing
Thank
the
you.
wisdom and the experience.
Thanks for coming to
Thanks to
Melbourne.
both of you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We're happy to be here. All right. Until next time, everybody. We'll see you.